So I'm here with a great friend and writer. If you want to introduce yourself to the people.
Sure. My name is Devin. I run Fashion Citizen, which is a fashion and lifestyle blog. I've been doing it since 2008, and that's about it.
Good stuff. All right, so we're about to get into it, and we're going to be discussing men's professional attire, pretty round table style. Okay, so the first topic up, we're going to talk about footwear. All right, so what are your thoughts on men's professional footwear?
The one thing that I don't like, or that I can say is like a no to me, is the square toe, like
Yes.
black
Indeed.
hard bottom, like standard dress shoe that they sell in DSW. I mean, it's available everywhere. And I understand for a lot of guys going into professionalism or going into their professional workplace, first time, it's like, okay, I just got to get something.
Right.
But I would say invest in a great pair of cap toe Oxfords, or, Giorgio Brutini has great shoes. Stacey Adams, as much as like younger people try to joke Stacey Adams, they have good basics. So avoid at all costs the black or the cognac colored square toe heavy sole shoe. That's
Right.
just awful to me.
When did that come about? Because when you think about it, I'm not gonna lie, I had a pair back in the day.
Right.
So
Right.
when did that transition move from, okay, we're not wearing these block soled shaped shoes anymore?
Right. I don't really know. I think as gentlemen started to dress more classic, like our style became more classic and less funky, if you will. Like we became gentlemen who, when we're wearing a suit, we need to wear shoes appropriate for a suit.
Right.
Standards dressing became more important. It was like, okay, we can't be the guys. I think the 90s was that era. The square toe shoe, kind of,
Right.
the pleated front slacks and the shirt
Yeah,
was like the
okay.
thing. And not that pleated front slacks are bad. I have a few shoes that have pleated front slacks, but I think that kind of went out once the 2000s came in and menswear got a little bit more classic.
Okay. All right. So that's a great segue. We can move on into our next topic, which is suiting. You talked about the pleating. Nowadays, when you see I guess people advertising for suits and talking about what's in, what's out, pleating isn't something that comes up. Everybody's going more towards the flat front. Why is that?
Right.
Or is that a thing?
I think because flat front looks better, if you will. I mean, it's more cosmetically appealing. Because if you take the jacket off, there's no pleating, and if you're a who's not standard size, I'll say it like that. If you're thicker, it looks better. But if it actually was designed for guys who are a little heavier, you not to look. Actually, no, I take that back. Pleating makes you look wider. I take that back. Flat front is better for all shapes. Pleating tends to look better with older suits. So you'll see a lot of older suits, vintage suits with pleating. I mean, you can find suits nowadays with pleating, but because flat front is modern, you find more suits that are flat front. I prefer flat front because for me, when I sit down, I don't like pants to kind of have that poofy front.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't like pants that have the poofy front in the just when I'm standing up. So I think for most young men, modern gentlemen, flat front is the way to go, but pleated is good. I like pleated with suits because the jacket is over it, so it's not as much of an hassle.
Okay. So, what are some do's and don'ts when it comes to suiting? Pleating, we've already discussed. It's kind of a personal preference thing, but what's some other do's and don'ts when it comes to suiting? I know a good one is the whole button rule. If you have a 2-button or 3-button suit, should you button it all the way down? How does that go?
From what I've read and what I've been told, because for me suiting is kind of a new thing, so I'm learning as I go along.
Okay.
But from what I do know with 3 buttons, the first, it's always, sometimes never.
When
so
you're
the
going
first,
down.
yes.
Okay.
So the top button is always. The second button is sometimes. The third button is never. So if you follow that rule, you'll be pretty good with buttons. One of the other things I think that is chief among suits is fit.
Yeah.
Tailoring is huge. A baggy suit, no matter how much it costs or how great
Right.
the material, just looks awful. It doesn't hang well. It hangs better. Like when you have on a good suit, a good blazer, a jacket that's tailored well or in your right size, you feel better. So
Right.
I think as opposed to just walking into the store and trying them on, get measured.
Okay.
So you know certainly, what your size is, so that way you never have a guess, And it's certainly with certain brands, you may have to go up or down the size, but you need a baseline, something to go on. That's the definite to do is fit. I don't really know that I have any don'ts. I think, suiting, like materials and all that stuff is a matter of preference. One of my huge don'ts actually is over accessorizing.
On the suit.
Don't wear a suit, right. Don't wear a
Okay.
suit with a pocket square, a boutonniere, and you have like a pattern tie and a pattern shirt. Like,
Okay.
you look top heavy. It's way too much going on.
But what if I wanted to like style on them and give them like everything all at once? No, that's a no.
No, because this is not really styling on them. I mean, if you look at when I look at like styling, like mixing, I look at the Italian, like the guys who go to Pitti, Pitti Imogene show, and those kind of the Italian suit wearers. They to me are like sartorial geniuses. They mix colors and patterns and all that, but it looks so effortless.
Okay.
And so I would try to, if I was gonna mix it up, I would pull from the Italian. They have a way of mixing guys that I've seen do it. It's just, it almost looks like a little, free ring circus, and you don't want to do that.
Okay. Now, does that readily transition to like professional attire? Like if I'm going to work or if I'm going to an interview, if I'm going to an event, can I take from those tips, or do you need to like tone it down a little bit or play it up a little bit in those different arenas?
I think for interviews, I'll just for interviews, blue, black, or gray.
Okay.
For as far as your slacks or your suiting, shirt simple, white or blue or gray, and maybe a white pocket square, a simple tie. In interview, you wanna show them that you can be professional. Your basic professional attire. I've always been told, once you get the job, you can kind of look around and see if there's room to maybe add a little pattern here or something like that. But as far as a boutonniere or a loud pocket square, I would save those for like events or weddings or those kind of things. Because at work, you want people to know you by the quality of your work,
Right.
not the snappiest dresser, because you could be the snappiest dresser without a promotion.
Yeah, that's true.
So you don't want that.
Okay. And I guess our last topic, where to shop. I mean, we have all the tips now, but where do we get these information? Where do we get measured? Where do we find these ties and these pocket squares and these things? Especially being, the demographic of our viewer today is high school age male. Where do I shop? Or where can I tell my parents to take me to shop so I can get these things?
Right. I think the first place to start for anybody is the mall. Like you can go to the mall and your department stores, your Macy's, your Nordstrom, Bloomingdale's, those kind of things. You go right to the menswear department. Chances are there's a gentleman who's been working there for a number of years who knows suiting very well. Seek out the gentleman in the menswear department that looks like he's got a little age on him,
Right.
who knows something about suiting. And if you're buying your first suit, make it an investment. Don't cheap out on your first suit. Make it something that you can invest in, that you can have for a few years, and really get some wear in it. And then once you kind of get that, one of the things I like to do, I like to thrift shop for like neckties and pocket squares, because you can find great vintage ties that are cheap and are really good quality. Put them in the cleaners or steam clean it one good time and you're good to go. K&G is also a good place for suiting. I know a lot of young people don't like K&G because it's instantly like, oh, that's what my uncle shops.
Yeah,
or
for my uncle,
like
Harold Painters or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, it's like a preacher. You like, no, I'm good on
Yeah.
that. But you can go there and find your basics. You can kind of wade through all the colors and the patterns and find you a nice basic suit.
Right.
And again, the gentlemen that work at K&G are older, so they know suiting. If you want a classic suit, classic fit, they know what to tell you. So K&G definitely your malls, your department stores. You know, put an investment behind it for your first couple of ties, your first couple of pocket squares. And as you grow, you know, Instagram's a great place. You know, check hashtags for menswear or hashtag boutonniere or hashtag pocket square, and check out where other people shop. Right. You might find some hidden gems that can help you, you know, upgrade your style.
Can I buy a suit online? Should I buy a suit online?
Not your first suit. I know they have it's a spot called, or a brand called Indochino, where like you can measure yourself and they send you the suit. If your mom's a great tailor or a great, you know, seamstress and can give you good measurements, certainly. But if you're not sure the person measuring you is exact, I would go into a store first, get my measurements, and then maybe in the future order from a site like Indochino where that makes suits. But for your first suit, I'd recommend going in the store and getting that hands-on experience so you have something to go on for future.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. Tell us where we can find you, where find more information about you, and any upcoming projects you may have going on.
Okay, you can find me. Fashion Citizen is the name of the brand. You can find me at fashion-citizen.com, at Fashion Citizen on Instagram, at Fashion Citizen on Twitter and Facebook, Fashion Citizen as well. I think the blog a little more. We've got t-shirts. I think I'm going to try to do some sweatshirts for the fall. We've got t-shirts and tank tops available now. You can find the link for that on our Instagram page. And that's about it. It was an honor to be able to speak to young gentlemen to inspire them to dress better.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Are you too?